Hey guys, John here, and welcome to another channel update video. Alright, so got a few things to talk about today. The main one that I want to touch on right away is the fact that we are very quickly closing in on 6,000 subscribers, which is a cool milestone. And I've known that it was coming for a while, obviously, been watching the numbers, and I've given it some thought on what I want to do for it. The last two milestones that we've hit, 4,000 and 5,000, I've done live streams for. I said that typically going forward I would be doing every 1,000 subscribers, I would do a stream that was an hour longer, so like 4 hours for 4K, 5 hours for 5K, and then I was planning on doing a 6-hour live stream whenever I got to 6K. However, I've rethought the plan. The main reason being that because of my Twitch affiliate contract, I can't stream to YouTube like I used to. Back in those milestones, I was streaming to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. And yeah, it's not something that I can do contractually. Also, I have stream a day to think about, and if I streamed, for example, just on YouTube for 6 hours, I definitely would not feel up to also streaming on Twitch before or after that, time-wise. And even further still, I think 6 hours might be a bit beyond my capabilities at this point in time. Not just because of, you know, things out of my control, like neighborhood noise and things like that being an issue, but I haven't been 100% lately, and I don't know how many of you have noticed, but I've had a lot of issues with my computer, with my internet, and just with me in general. I haven't been feeling 100%, nothing to get like concerned about, but I definitely have been more tired lately, and I don't have the energy that I often have. Now, when I do streams with my friends, you know, Team Chaos and everything, those streams tend to be longer. Like we did a 3-hour one on my birthday, and that was a ton of fun. You know, I had a lot of different people a part of that, and that kept me going, you know. But realistically speaking, a 6-hour stream would most likely include at least half of it that would just be me on my own, and then more still once, you know, whatever time frame that people are able to join in. It just doesn't conceivably work in my mind that we could pull off a stream like that. So for the time being, I'm going to not do the milestone that way. What I'm going to do instead is do what I used to do in the past, which is do a cool special video for YouTube, and then you know, we'll make note of the milestone on whichever stream a day happens to be the day that I hit it. You know, we'll talk about it, maybe even do something special, but no more 1,000 equals hour thing for a little while. I don't know, you know, like looking to the future, I was thinking, you know, like maybe the next one, but at this rate, I don't know conceivably if I will hit 7,000 subscribers, and I also don't know if it really means as much as it used to. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I'm grateful for each and every one of you that hit that subscribe button. It's just that most of you that hit that subscribe button never come back. And that's a sad reality for not only me, but for a lot of, you know, YouTubers, is that you end up with a lot of people who subscribe and then never watch your videos. Now, they might subscribe for, you know, a reason like getting attention to themselves, or they might subscribe and then because of YouTube's broken front page system or whatever, they might never see my videos and just honestly forget that they subscribed to me. Or they might subscribe for something I used to do and then realize that I don't do it anymore, and then they're, you know, they don't watch anymore. It's difficult, you know. People stumble across some of my old videos. Like, for example, when I used to do NASCAR on this channel, somebody will find one of those NASCAR 06 videos or NASCAR Dirt to Daytona videos that are several years old, and they'll be like, you know, why didn't you continue this? Where's the next episode? And I'm like, I moved all that stuff to my racing channel. And sometimes they do go over there and subscribe, and you know, we just recently hit 500 subscribers over there, which is cool. But yeah, it's just one of those things, the way YouTube's system works, and the fact that some people don't necessarily notice how old a video is, or like I said, sometimes they subscribe and they never actually get my videos in their feed, and so they forget that I exist. Whatever. The point is, even though I love saying that I have 6,000 subscribers, or almost, even though I want to say that someday we'll reach 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, whatever, even if we do, and that's a big if, even if we do, I'm worried that it won't mean as much as it should. Because, for example, if I posted right now a video that was saying thank you for 6,000 subscribers, it would probably get 30 or 40 views. And that, I mean, that's pretty much what we got to work with. Don't get me wrong, again, you guys that are here all the time, you mean the world to me. I know pretty much all of you by name, and you know, a lot of you show up to the streams as often as you can as well. But the reality is that the channel isn't doing great, and it's partially my fault, but I think a big part of it is YouTube in general. And you add in stuff like demonetization for no reason, the inability for us to properly appeal that, bogus copyright stuff, etc., etc., etc. It makes it extremely difficult. Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, John, you're already streaming on Twitch, you're an affiliate, you have your stream a day, why not just focus on streaming? And I did have something to say about that as well, which I'll touch on in just a second. But one thing to note with Twitch is that it has sort of gone the same way. Not to the extreme that YouTube has, but it has become very difficult to grow on Twitch as well. For a while, it was a very viable spot to bring in new people. And still, if you play the right game at the right time, new people will find you. Perhaps even easier than they would on YouTube. So it is still a viable place to grow. However, you need statistics in your favor first. I don't know if you guys have heard the phrase, you have to have money to make money, which is a reference to like investing in something so that you get money back, or buying something better so that you can do the job better and therefore get paid better, or whatever. But that's so true with this kind of thing. Except not necessarily having money to make money, having viewers to get viewers. So like if you go to Twitch and you're like, I want to look for people playing this game. Say 100 people, which is probably a small number, but 100 people are playing that game. If you already have a certain number of people watching you, you're up that list. That list is arranged by viewers that are currently watching. So those top few guys are instantly the draw. Except for those people that maybe don't want to have to compete with a lot of people in chat to get their message across, so they might scroll down a bit. But of late, Twitch views have been very low. There's a couple reasons for this. One big reason is when I first became an affiliate and all that stuff was happening was like right around summer, and a lot of people had free time. Not only people watching had more free time, but I had more people that could join in for collaborations and things like that. Just basically the summer was fantastic. We had a lot of fun until I got sick and wasted like 2 weeks of the summer. But it was a good time. And like I said, people had more time to watch. Those of you that are in school, whether it's, you know, middle school, high school, college, whatever, you had more time because summer means time off usually for most people. And now that's not really the case. You know, classes, homework, obligations, whatever, means less people watching on Twitch. And that affects everybody. But when you already have a small number of people, it hurts bad. So when I stream something and I'm on that list of people that are playing that particular game, it's usually going to show like 2 or 3 viewers for me lately. Sometimes more, but usually around 3. And if that's the case, very few people are ever going to find the channel. So I'm not complaining, just to get that out there. I get that that's how the system works and I understand it. I'm just saying, explaining to you why Twitch isn't necessarily a viable alternative for me either, because it's you have to have people watching to get more people watching. And you know, I don't know exactly what we're gonna have to do to make that happen, but it is a thing. Now, another reason I think, aside from time of year, that is affecting this is quality options. When I first became an affiliate with Twitch, pretty much for that entire first month or month and a half, I think I went all but 2 days without quality options. Now, what they told us is that affiliates get priority towards quality options. You don't get them all the time until you're a partner, but affiliates would get them most of the time. Okay? And for, like I say, about a month and a half, like all but like 2 days, I had quality options, which means if somebody was watching me and their internet isn't great, or they're watching on mobile, they could lower the quality, unless they had it set to auto, but they could lower the quality to 480p, 360p, whatever, and watch without a bunch of buffering. All right, well, after that month and a half, I noticed that it was a bit more hit and miss. Sometimes I had quality options, sometimes I didn't. Now, this past, I want to say, probably about past month, I haven't had quality options at all. And I don't know if Twitch changed it to where affiliates passed a certain view threshold, maybe, or if there's just so many affiliates now that there's just not enough options to go around, which I don't know how there couldn't be, but you know what I mean. Whatever their reason is for limiting that, if there's so many affiliates that they can't keep up with it now, and most of those affiliates have more viewers than me, then I get bottom priority, which means I never get them. So I know quality options are huge. I know there's probably a lot of you that have tried to watch, it buffers a bunch and you just give up. And I don't blame you. When I had bad internet, that was an issue for me. I tried to watch people stream, I tried to watch people's videos, and it was just a constant issue of just waiting for it to load, getting a few seconds, waiting for it to load, getting a few seconds, and it's miserable and it's not fun to watch, and it's impossible to keep up with a stream like that. So I 100% get it. That's a big reason why I enjoyed streaming on YouTube, is that everybody has quality options. But given the way YouTube is now, I don't think streaming there instead of Twitch is a viable option either, because they're just gonna find a new way to smurf us over. Also, Nintendo is against people streaming their stuff apparently on YouTube. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. I heard something about that. I think that only really applies to people who have their whole channel partnered through Nintendo's creator content thing, but I don't really know. Anyway, I've kind of drifted off topic here, but my point is, it's difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel here, because there's not growth on YouTube or Twitch in a way that shows me that we're gonna reach a certain steady point. There for a while, during the summer, when we were having, like, averaging like 7 or 8 people in chat, which I know isn't a lot, but it helped me see that, like, okay, well, if 7 or 8 people are here every night, it's conceivable that that number could double very easily, and then double again and double again. But when I see the numbers go down, that tells me that the chances of that happening aren't good. So, troubling. And because of that, I had considered ending stream a day. You have to realize that even though sometimes I only stream for like an hour, sometimes even less, like there have been streams recently where I like wasn't feeling well and I streamed for like 30 or 40 minutes and was like, yeah, I'm good. I try to always stream for a couple of hours at least, but it doesn't always work out. But you have to realize that even though I don't stream much, streaming every single day just basically means that there isn't a single day of a week that I can just be like, frick it, I don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like sitting in front of my computer. I just want to go to bed early. I just want to lay down. I just want to do whatever. I want to watch TV. I want to veg out and not do anything just this one day. I can't do that. Aside from making YouTube content, I know I have to stream at least a little bit every single day. And honestly, streaming just a little bit isn't helping my cause either. I realize that to be one of the top guys on Twitch, you have to stream a lot more than just an hour or so. Because you run the risk of those random people who might find you not getting the opportunity to it's easy for me to say, not getting the opportunity to find you because you didn't stream long enough for them to show up. So, yeah, there was definitely been thoughts in my head recently about ending stream a day. And I thought about doing it on the 500th stream a day because it's a nice round number. And that's only a few days away as of when I'm recording this. And I can tell you that I will not be ending stream a day on 500. And there's one main reason why. Given the way YouTube is now, given the way YouTube's been lately, with demonetization, with all this stuff, with the views being kind of weird lately, I don't know what's going on there. They kind of get like frozen at the beginning, and you'll see it just sitting with like 1 view but like 3 likes, and it's like, I'm pretty sure the 3 people who liked that watched it, but whatever. But with all these issues, I've realized that the time I spend recording, like separate, not, you know, not streaming, but like when I sit down and record something and I put in the extra effort, and then I do a lot of extra editing stuff, and I add, you know, intros, and I add, you know, whatever stuff to it, and then I cut out parts, and I add transitions, and I do all this stuff, and then upload that video. And yet then YouTube will demonetize it or bury it or whatever. And I realized that I spend so much time doing that I could just be streaming. And the main reason I feel that way is because of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You've been seeing a lot of videos of it, and if you watch me on Twitch, you've seen me stream it a bunch. I could stream that game, and usually it gets several people there, usually more than some of the other things I do. Everybody has a good time. I have a blast. I love that game. Those of you that watch it seem to love watching it. And then I put it up on YouTube, and all I'm doing is just cutting it into basically 30-minute chunks or thereabouts. 30-minute chunk, throw it up there, minimal effort, and it gets the exact same views as something that I spent hours editing, rendering, uploading, all that stuff. I can just toss up a chunk of a live stream and it does just as well. Now, is it the game? Maybe, but then I look at, you know, I put up, I had recently realized that I had a bunch of Trine 2 streams that I hadn't turned into videos. I put up one of those recently. It's the same views. And the only thing recently that I've done that got more views than normal, more interest than normal, is Lego City Undercover on the Switch. And maybe a slight bit of interest more than usual on Splatoon 2, but basically the same amount of views as normal. But Lego City Undercover, you guys definitely seem excited about, so cool. But realistically speaking, what I'm getting at is I can stream something and get my stream time in, and then that's also my recording time, because that stuff is, you know, 2 hours of content. If I'm splitting it in 30-minute chunks, that's 4 episodes right there, right? And people enjoy it on Twitch, and then, as I said, it does just as well on YouTube as anything else I do. So that, in my mind, makes more sense than stopping stream a day so that I have a day or two a week off. Instead, I think I should just stop recording and just stream. Because then when I do stream a day, I'm getting the recording content, and then I don't actually have to record, which, as I said, I've been having issues with. Now, taking this a step further, there are a few things that maybe wouldn't make as much sense to stream as others. Very story-based games I could see people having an issue with, like Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4, at least at the point to where I've played it, has been probably more cutscene than game, or about 50-50 at most. I'm totally fine with that, and people love that game, so cool. But streaming that would be a bit of an issue. If chat's popping up, if somebody donates bits or whatever, and of course I have face cam on all the time, whatever. So I could see where people might be like, yo, that's taken away from the story. Recently, I've experimented during the Breath of the Wild stuff with when a cutscene hits, I switch to showing just the game. There's no bit jar, there's no chat pop-up, there's no my face, and I go silent until the cutscene's over. It needs a little tweaking, like having like a hotkey I can press to make it happen, but it is a thing I can do within OBS, so that when a cutscene hits, I can hit that, and it's just the gameplay. Just showing the cutscene, and then when the cutscene's over, I hit the button, I come back, and we do what we do. So I think that's a way that it would preserve the quality of the like cinematic stuff, while also still enabling me to just stream it and get a bunch of content and move on with it. Now, am I saying that I am going to start streaming Uncharted 4 or whatever? I don't know yet. Uncharted 4 has been a bit of an issue anyway with the demonetization. Every time I upload a new video of it, they demonetize it. I have to appeal it. It takes a long time. Sometimes they drop it, sometimes they don't. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm not going to make much on that series anyway. So streaming it makes sense because at least I'm not putting in as much time and effort, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know. Another thing is NASCAR stuff for the racing channel. I don't know if I'm going to stream that. And the main reason I don't know it is that I sometimes don't have a good experience with streaming NASCAR. In the past I've done it and it's been successful in the sense that it brings in a bunch of people. But it also runs the risk of bringing in people that I don't want to be a part of things. I've been trolled a lot with NASCAR streams, and I have people that come in and they're used to going to other racing streamers channels where they are a lot freer with language and things like that, and then they get upset when I admonish them, or one of my mods bans somebody for saying something they shouldn't. Then they like come in with an alt account, or they get all their buddies to come troll me or whatever and stuff like that. Racing and Minecraft seem to be the two things that bring in the worst viewers. Like the people who just want to give you crap. Which is weird because I never get that on the racing videos. Like maybe once or twice I've had comments from people that weren't nice or whatever. But more often than not, the people who watch my racing videos on YouTube are generally cool people. So it's weird about that. I don't know. But either way, what I'm trying to get at is I don't know if I want to stream NASCAR, so I might still record it. and it is minimal editing at least. I don't cut out too much of that anymore. So maybe that stays recorded. But I'm thinking stuff like Uncharted 4 is a maybe for streaming. I think, well, another thing I hesitate with Uncharted 4 is I'm afraid somebody's going to spoil it. I've avoided spoilers for so long on that game, and I really don't want to get spoilers now. So that is kind of a thing that I'm worried about, but whatever. However, other games like Lego City Undercover, Splatoon 2, what else was I thinking? Ukulele, things like that. I think I am going to switch to streaming it and then cut it up into episodes. I think more often than not, if I am going to start a series, it's probably going to be streamed. There may be a couple of exceptions, like some of the mature games that I'm moving over to the Jonathan Wolf TV channel, like Half-Life 2, and if I get back to Halo, Skyrim, things like that. I don't know if I would stream those. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, point is, YouTube is taking the fun out of recording and doing the higher production stuff. And because I get just as much out of the stream footage, and because I'm trying to still build that, because I can keep the streak going, I think I would rather stream most stuff going forward. And because in the end, I will actually have more time off. And honestly, there is going to come a day when I will have to use my time in the day differently. I'm not getting any younger. I just had a birthday. We're not going to talk about my age because I'm super old, like 150 or something, according to some people. But no, I will have to start using my time differently in the future. And if I'm going to have to choose, I would like to keep YouTube active, but the time that I put in seems more beneficial to stream and then just use that footage than if I were to record more. Because recording more, I feel, is going to do me less in the long run as far as growth. I just don't see the growth for YouTube. And, I'll just go ahead and say it. I don't talk about it because I hate talking about it. But some of you do know, I had this channel and I put stupid little kiddie games like Dora the Explorer and all that crap on it. Back in the day, I did a one-off April Fool's video with Dora the Explorer, got a ton of views, so I had this idea of maybe I could cash in on that. Tried it for a while, hated it, stopped doing that. Then about a year ago, started doing it again on this other channel, and it took off. And I ain't gonna talk numbers, but all I'm going to say is that channel's doing way better than this channel. So there is a possibility that I could turn that into something with with some luck that could sustain me for the foreseeable future, and it leaves me enough time to do what I need to do, is stream a day. But you have to realize that someday I might just have to say, frick it, I'm gonna have to, get a job at Walmart or whatever, and that's gonna take up a crap ton of my time. Ask my friends who work, and most of them do not have the free time that they would like to have for stuff like this. Somehow, a couple of them, with their busy schedules, still make it work. Like Justin and Mr. McBlame, you guys are crazy. You need to sleep more. But anyway, yeah, there may come a time when my time isn't, as free as I would like, and if I have to choose, I think the smartest choice is to stream. Keep the streak alive for now, because that's really the only thing we have going on Twitch, is the fact that somebody might come across this and say, wow, you've streamed every day for almost 500 days. That's kind of cool. And hopefully turn that into something. We may end up ending the streak someday, but I think it makes more sense to try to grow that and then just use the content to throw on YouTube for those of you who like to watch on here, and for the rare case that it might draw in new people. But yeah, I have to think about that. Also, just wanted to throw in a quick note about the Jonathan Wolf Racing channel. I am currently experiencing issues recording from my original Xbox. I've had troubles with it on and off ever since I got it, basically. You guys know the screen blinking on and off occasionally. Some games just not working as well as I thought they should, locking up, freezing, whatever. But recently, I've developed this issue where the audio cuts in and out. I talked about it in the last episode of NASCAR 06 on that channel, which you can listen to yourself if you want. But basically, the audio was cutting in and out, so I had to change the way I recorded, and it's now this really wonky, annoying setup, which I don't like. But it does allow me to record without issue. The problem is, I'd rather not have to do that. And so I'm trying to look into why that's happening. So on the racing channel, videos might be a little sparser than usual just because I've spent a lot of my free time trying and failing to record stuff for it. I had a couple new things I was going to try over there, and they did revolve around the original Xbox, so I'm pretty frustrated that this is happening. So yeah, just a little note to let you know that could be taking place. I don't know what's causing it. Ever since I reinstalled Windows is when this started happening, and it's only when I record from the original Xbox. Even though it's fine if I'm just doing straight capture, going into OBS it decides that the audio is cutting in and out. I've looked for solutions and nobody seems to know anything about it, and it's really frustrating. But either way, I'm going to try my best to keep those videos consistent, but there may be a bit of sparseness there. Also, I'm not going to continue Dirt to Daytona. I know that this is the second time I've dropped the series, but basically it's because I chose to use a PS2 emulator to try to get sharper, clearer quality, and so that I could just play it straight on my PC without having to mess with console stuff. Well, I've developed issues now with capturing that emulator without choppiness and all this stuff, and it's not worth it. And also, the views have just not been there for it either, really. I feel like people just aren't enjoying it as much as they are Heat 2 or 06. 06 is clearly the most popular series there, but anyway, so Dirt to Daytona, I'm sorry, it's canceled again. I might bring it back on the GameCube version because at least I know that I can record that without too many issues. But I don't know. Let's just not worry about it for now. I'm just going to focus on those other two, and then like I said, I had some ideas for some new stuff, so we'll see if I can get those on the go. But that's just a little update on the racing stuff, so yeah, just to let you know there. So basically, to summarize, I'm going to try to continue the stream a day thing for the foreseeable future. Probably record less. There might be one or two things that I still put in the effort to record. One-offs might also still be a thing that I would record. There may still be a couple games that make more sense to record in the grand scheme of things. But I think most series are going to become stream projects. And I think now is as good a time as any to launch into this, because realistically speaking, even though my friends do become available a few times a week, certain days or nights that they have free, there's going to be less multiplayer stuff realistically until the next summer rolls around, I assume. So this would be the stretch to launch into it, at least here for the winter, except for Christmas break. There are probably going to be some shenanigans, but you know, winter into spring is probably the best time for me to focus more on single player stuff, and we'll see what happens. One other thing to note is I did mention the Jonathan Wolf TV channel. I had been moving the mature stuff over there because the main channel was getting hit with all this demonetization. Now those videos are getting hit with demonetization, even though that channel is so small, I really didn't think they would notice. But they are now. But I'm going to continue to put the mature stuff over there, mainly because if that channel gets hit with demonetization, it doesn't really matter because I don't usually put a video on that channel unless I've already put a video up somewhere else for the day. Racing or the main channel here, so it counterbalances the fact that that video didn't get any revenue. And if I do end up streaming the mature stuff, which I don't, some of it I might, but some of it I don't know if I will because I'll have less control over who sees it and who doesn't. But even if I do, those VODs would end up on the second channel as well. So we'll see how all that plays out. I don't really know what else to say. I know this is probably a bit of a downer because it sounded like I was just basically complaining about never having growth on my channels and giving up. But it's a sad reality of the way YouTube is right now that I've put 7 years into this main channel, and at this point, I don't see it ever growing to a point that makes any sense to keep putting in the effort that I do. Because I know what you're thinking, well, John, you've hit 6K, clearly people are still subscribing. But where are they? I mean, I could have 10,000 subscribers, and I probably would still only get 30 or 40 views a video. And I'll have you know that there's no money in that. If not for older videos that went semi-viral, I wouldn't even have revenue from this channel right now. The new stuff just doesn't do anything. I basically only put up videos now for the handful of you that are regulars, so you have something to watch, and because I still enjoy playing these games and doing this stuff. But as I said, I can use that time for streaming, still get content for YouTube, and then have a few hours in a day where I'm like, I don't have to record, so I can chill, or I can work on something else in my life. I mean, recently, I mentioned this in a stream, I think, but recently I lost 20 pounds, okay? 20 pounds is pretty good, but I'm still not in great shape. I may have lost density, but I'm still a freaking flabby, freaking pale nerd who needs to get his act together. So maybe I can take a few hours in a day to actually do something about that. Because you know what? Maybe someday I'd like to, I don't know, have a social life, whatever that is. And wasting time on something that doesn't even pay off? Nah. I've put, I don't even want to think about how many hours. In those 7 years, I probably averaged at least 12 hours a day of work. At the beginning, obviously less. Recently, more than 12, so I'm just kind of splitting the difference. Half of every 24 hours for the past 7 years has basically been YouTube, and as you can see, 30 views a video. So I hope you can understand that. I hope those of you who are diehards will get that I'm doing the best I can, and that I'm still going to be bringing you guys content because I know you love it and I love you for it. But you have to realize that I have to change my approach to it, and that someday I might have to stop a lot of it. But for now, still gonna do stream a day. Gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna try to be more consistent, longer streams if possible, but a lot less recording. So yeah, I hope you guys understand. I thank you for your continued support, and I think that, oh, I almost forgot. I almost forgot. HALLOWEEK is a thing. I'm doing it. I thought about canceling it, but I'm going to do it. It's going to be on the second channel. 25th through the 31st. 7 days, 7 different videos. Doing some horror games. Some of them are probably going to be terrible because that's the way it usually goes. But might be some winners in there too. We'll see. And yeah. The one for Halloween should be particularly good. I already know what it's going to be, and it's a mainstream game, and I think you're going to like it. But, yeah. So, HALLOWEEK, Jonathan Wolf TV channel, 25th through the 31st. Should be awesome. And I might do a Halloween-themed stream on the 31st as well. It depends. I'm not sure yet. People are around for that situation. It might change my plan, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.